Karen, he didn't rule it out there.
No, he did not. This is certainly something that there is speculation growing about. Could there be a partnership in line for Zealand Pharma? But just first of all, I want to touch on what he was saying about this new generation of drugs. Now, Zealand Pharma has reported positive top-line results for a couple of its obesity drug candidates over recent months, one being a direct contender to your Wegovy and your Zepbound, that's a GLP-1 candidate. But there's also a new type, which is known as an amylin analog, and this works quite differently. So the company is really pushing ahead and saying this is going to be the next phase because it offers a higher quality weight loss with less muscle loss and fewer side effects. So without getting too technical, it works quite differently. It mimics a hormone that is co-secreted with insulin in the pancreas, and that provides this feeling of satiety. So making people feel full, whereas the original GLP-1s, they suppress the appetite initially. And this is really where CEO Adam Steensberg was telling me they think they're going to differentiate. And from some of the analysts I've spoken to, they're certainly talking about this being the next big thing that everyone's talking about. Because, you know, we see this first generation of innovation in this space, but certainly there are ways in which the market is likely to fragment going forward. And there'll be those players that are going after these different types. For those who can't necessarily tolerate the GLP-1s, it's around 20 or 30% of users who have to come off and aren't actually ultimately able to use them over the long term, which means those weight loss benefits can't persist.
And this is such a fascinating story, Karen. An excellent interview, by the way. Look, obviously an industry that is still in its infancy and ripe for innovation, perhaps even disruption here. Did he give any specifics on the markets that he would like to target with this new age, new technology drug?
Absolutely. So he did say it is those who can't necessarily tolerate the GLP-1s currently and those who, you know, are concerned about these muscle loss factors. And it's also this idea of the partnership is to enable it to have wider reach. So targeting all these global markets. There's a Danish firm at the moment, but he's very much talking about how they want to seek this partner so that they can grow more broadly and access what is a huge market. I was speaking to an analyst just now who's saying the market is likely to be worth $55 billion this year, and expectations are that it could be 100 billion, 200 billion by the end of the decade. And he was telling me names of a few companies that are going round at the minute that could be potentially in line for a partnership with Zealand. So we've got the likes of Amgen, Roche, Merck US, Pfizer. These are other players that have been looking into this huge obesity market and maybe looking for a company that's already been doing some substantial innovation in this area.
Really, really interesting. Okay, Karen, really appreciate the update. Thanks so much for joining us on this really important story. And for more on this, you can check out Karen's article. Just head over to cnbc.com.